The antiseptic smell burned my nostrils as consciousness crept back. Heart monitor beeping steadily. 2 days since the attack, and sleep still came in fragments. The phone's shrill ring cut through the silence like a blade. 3 a.m. My hand trembled, reaching for the receiver. "Dad, it's me." Mary's voice, distant, clinical. "Sweetheart, are you okay? It's so late. I'm calling to let you know I'm getting married tomorrow. In Las Vegas." Leo and I decided not to wait. Her tone was flat, businesslike. "The apartment and car are sold. The money will help with the wedding and honeymoon. My apartment, the one I bought for her. The car I gifted her. Sold." My voice came out weaker than intended. "But honey, we need to talk about." "There's nothing to discuss. I'm 28, Dad. I can make my own decisions. Leo says you've been too controlling, keeping me dependent. This is my chance for independence." The heart monitor's rhythm quickened. Not from the medical condition this time, but from betrayal. I need to focus on my new life now. Leo's right. You've held me back long enough. I'm sorry about your heart, but I can't let guilt control my choices anymore. 15 years since Sarah passed. Since I devoted everything to this daughter. Goodbye, Dad. Fine. The word came out steadier than I felt. But you forgot one thing. Silence stretched across the line. Then irritation crept into her voice. What do you mean? A low laugh escaped my throat, surprising us both. The loving father she remembered was transforming into someone she didn't know existed. Someone who'd spent 30 years navigating corporate contracts and legal loopholes. You'll find out soon enough. Good luck with your wedding, sweetheart. I hung up before she could respond. The photograph on the bedside table trembled in my hands. Mary at 25, graduation day, radiant. 3 years ago, she still smiled like that. Promise me you'll take care of our girl. Sarah's voice echoed from the deepest places of memory. I'd held her hand and sworn an oath that shaped every decision since. I promised she'll never want for anything. I remembered the apartment hunt 5 years ago. I'd structured the legal paperwork carefully, a trust arrangement that protected both of us. But something changed 8 months ago with the first mention of Leo Morrison. Phone calls became shorter. Sunday dinners turned into quick coffee meetings. Dad, you need to stop being so involved in my life. Leo thinks you're too controlling. When had my daughter's thoughts become someone else's words? That July evening 8 months ago, I met Leo at her favorite Italian restaurant, Bella Vista. He was tall, well-dressed, confident, the kind that immediately triggered my courtroom instincts. Mr. Rivera, Mary's told me so much about you. Smooth voice, practiced smile. Too perfect. What line of work are you in exactly? I asked. I help people optimize their opportunities. Strategic planning, you might say. Not really an answer. Mary's apartment is beautiful, by the way. Leo continued smoothly. You have excellent taste in real estate investments. There it was. Interest in the apartment. My lawyer brain started cataloging red flags. Leo insisted on ordering an expensive bottle of wine. When the check came, his relief when I picked up the tab was obvious. A man with a Rolex who couldn't afford dinner. His BMW in the parking lot was financed to the limit. The pieces didn't fit together. As I drove home that night, every instinct screamed warnings, but Mary was glowing. Tuesday morning arrived with discharge papers and a transformation. For days in the hospital had given me a new purpose. By noon, I cleared my dining room table and spread out 15 years of legal documents. The apartment purchase papers told the story clearly. Property ownership remained in the Dale Rivera family trust. She had no legal right to sell anything. Leo had convinced her to commit fraud. I dialed Marcus Porter, investigations. Marcus, it's Dale Rivera. I need a complete background check on someone. This is personal, but I'm prepared for whatever it costs. I dictated Leo's full name, the BMW license plate, and Mary's address. Money's not an issue. I want to know everything. By 3 o'clock, Marcus called back. Dale, I've got preliminary findings on your Leo Morrison. You're not going to like this. Tell me. Employment history is sketchy at best. Lives in a luxury apartment complex that runs about $4,000 a month. drives a BMW that's financed to the limit. I found a pattern. 3 different women in the past 5 years all ended relationships around the time their financial situations got complicated. What kind of complications? Credit problems, unauthorized charges, missing savings. This guy's a professional. Setting down the phone, I stared at the trust documents. Mary thought she'd gained independence. Instead, she'd handed Leo exactly what he wanted. But Leo had made one critical mistake. He'd underestimated the man whose daughter he was using. Cafe Luna buzzed with afternoon energy when I arrived at 2 o'clock, choosing a corner table with clear sight lines. The manila folder beside my coffee cup contained 15 years of legal paperwork that would shatter Mary's confidence. She walked in 10 minutes late, wedding ring catching the light, like a declaration of war. "Thank you for coming, Mary. I wasn't sure you would." She slid into the chair across from me. "I'm here to tell you to stop interfering in my life. Leo and I are married now." "Married?" "About that and about the apartment sale, we need to discuss some legal issues." "There are no legal issues. Everything's been handled properly." Her voice carried Leo's arrogance. I opened the folder, removing documents that had been filed away since she was 23. "Mary, I need to show you something. These are the original papers from when I bought your apartment." "I don't care about old paperwork. I sold it. It's done. Look at the ownership structure." I turned the deed toward her, pointing. "The apartment was never legally yours to sell. It's held in the Dale Rivera Family Trust with me as trustee and you as beneficiary. You can live there, but you cannot sell it without my written consent." The color drained from her face. "That's impossible. I have the deed. You have a beneficiary document, not an ownership deed. There's a significant legal difference." I pulled out additional paperwork. "The sale you completed was legally void." "You're lying." Leo checked all the paperwork. Leo isn't a lawyer. He wouldn't recognize trust structures or understand property law. I explained the arrangement. The buyers will discover the title defect within weeks. Their lawyers will demand their money back. The escrow company will reverse the transaction. "Why didn't you tell me about this trust thing?" "Because I trusted you to discuss major financial decisions with me before acting. I established this structure to protect your interests, not to control you." Her phone buzzed. "Leo says you've been manipulating me my whole life." "Leo says many things." I gathered the papers. "Has he shown you documentation of his consulting business, client contracts, tax returns?" "That's none of your business. Everything about Leo Morrison is my business now. You gave a stranger access to what he believed was $500,000 in real estate equity. He's my husband. He's a fraud investigator's dream case." I closed the folder. Mary stood abruptly. "I won't let you destroy my marriage." "I don't need to destroy anything, sweetheart. Leo's already doing that himself." She stormed toward the exit. "What happens now?" "Now you go home and tell your husband that his payday just evaporated. Then we'll see what kind of man you really married." The next morning, I organized my dining room like a war room. Marcus Porter called at 10:30. "Dale, I've got more on your Leo Morrison. Pattern's worse than I initially reported. 5 women over 8 years, not 3. This guy's a professional." "What kind of professional?" "The kind who researches targets carefully. Older women, recent widows, financially comfortable, but emotionally vulnerable. He's got a playbook." Marcus detailed Leo's current financial status, underwater on everything. He needed Mary's apartment money badly. By noon, Mary was calling. "Dad, Leo says you can't legally do this. He's hiring a lawyer." "Of course he is." "Mary, has Leo shown you his tax returns, business license, any documentation of his consulting work?" Silence. "We're married. I don't need to see his papers." "You just learned you don't legally own the apartment you thought you sold. Maybe it's time to ask some questions." She hung up. At 3 o'clock, a certified letter arrived. A demand for immediate cessation of elder abuse and fraudulent property claims from a low-grade lawyer. I called my former partner, Richard Maxwell, who reviewed it and laughed. "This guy got his law degree from a cereal box. Your trust work was always bulletproof." That evening, I drafted my reply, demolishing every claim with case law citations. I added a paragraph. Please advise your client that any further frivolous legal actions will result in full investigation of his background, financial status, and history with other vulnerable women. We have obtained preliminary information suggesting patterns of predatory behavior that may interest law enforcement. Marcus called Friday morning. Leo Morrison isn't just a con artist. He's a professional. 2 previous marriages, both ending the same way your daughter's heading. I documented everything. Amanda Porter, married March 2018, divorced February 2019, lost $180,000. Jennifer Walsh, married June 2020, divorced September 2022, lost $250,000. Same pattern. Whirlwind romance, rushed marriage, gradual access to finances, then disappearance when the money runs out. 3 hours later, I spread the evidence across my table. Marriage certificates, financial records, witness statements. At 2 o'clock, I called Mary. We need to meet. I have information about Leo that changes everything. This isn't about law, Mary. It's about Leo's history, his previous marriages. She arrived reluctant and defensive at Cafe Luna. I opened the folder and placed the first marriage certificate on the table. Amanda Porter and Leo Morrison, married March 15, 2018. Mary stared. This is fake. You had someone create false papers. The second certificate joined the first. Jennifer Walsh and Leo Morrison, married June 3, 2020. Her face went pale. That's impossible. Leo told me I was his first serious relationship since college. I handed her Amanda's statement. Her hands trembled as she read. Her expression changed from disbelief to recognition. He said the same things to her, word for word, the exact same promises. She pushed back from the table. No, this can't be real. Leo loves me. Leo loved Amanda's financial portfolio. He loved Jennifer's real estate investments. And he loved what he thought was your $500,000 apartment. I spread out the financial records. Amanda lost her life savings. Jennifer had to declare bankruptcy. Both relationships lasted 18 months. 8 months together was right on schedule for his usual timeline. Mary sat frozen. She looked up at me. I'm not his wife. I'm his third victim. Her phone buzzed. Leo's name. Don't answer it, I said quietly. 3 days later, I stood outside the Chapel of Eternal Love on the Las Vegas Strip. Marcus had tracked him here. Mary looked beautiful in her wedding dress, but her eyes held a hollow look. Leo stood at the altar, eager to complete his biggest score. The officiant cleared his throat. If anyone has reason why these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace. I stepped forward from the back of the chapel. I have information this bride needs before making this commitment. The chapel fell silent. Leo's face went white, then flushed with rage. This is a private ceremony. You weren't invited. Mary, before you sign legal documents, you should know exactly who you're signing with. Did he explain Amanda Porter? I walked calmly down the aisle and placed the first marriage certificate on the altar. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Leo lunged forward. Those are fabricated. He's trying to destroy us. I calmly placed the second certificate beside the first. Jennifer Walsh, married to Leo Morrison, June 2020. Leo, you said these marriages never happened. I can explain everything privately, Leo said, his charm cracking. I spread the financial records across the altar. Amanda lost $180,000. Jennifer lost $250,000. Both women trusted Leo with their life savings. Mary picked up the typed page. He used the same words, the exact same promises he made to me. Then why did you steal from him? The question hung in the air. Leo's mask finally slipped. I never stole anything. They gave me money willingly, the same way I was going to give you money from selling the apartment. What's yours is mine. Mary slowly removed her wedding ring, holding it like poison. We're not married yet, and we're not going to be. She walked away from the altar, still in her wedding dress, but no longer a bride. Leo called after her, but she didn't look back. As I followed Mary toward the chapel exit, I heard Leo behind us, still trying to salvage his scheme. But his audience was gone, his credibility destroyed, his perfect plan reduced to public humiliation. 2 days after Las Vegas, Mary called. Her voice sounded small, uncertain. "Dad, I owe you an apology." I set down my coffee. "Mary, you don't owe me anything. I'm just glad you're safe." "How did you know from the very beginning? How did you see through Leo when I couldn't?" "Experience, sweetheart. 30 years of reading people in depositions, and a father's instinct to protect his daughter." "I feel so stupid. All those red flags I ignored." "You're not stupid. Leo's a professional. He's done this before, and he'll try to do it again unless we stop him." That afternoon, I activated the most powerful weapon in my arsenal, my professional network. Richard Maxwell took my first call. "I need Leo Morrison investigated from every possible angle." "Dale, after seeing those documents you provided, we're already moving. The State Business Licensing Board opened an investigation yesterday. His consulting business? Complete fabrication." By evening, the systematic destruction of Leo Morrison was underway. Meanwhile, Leo was becoming increasingly desperate, sending Mary escalating texts and voicemails. "Mary, don't let him turn you against me. We can still work this out." Mary had changed her locks and started therapy. But Leo wasn't stopping. Marcus, my detective, reported that Leo had been seen outside Mary's apartment. He's escalating. Financial pressures mounting. Desperate people do desperate things. That night, my phone rang. Unknown number, but I recognized Leo's voice. "You destroyed my life, old man. You destroyed your own life. I just exposed it." "Mary was never yours, Leo. She was your victim, and the apartment was always mine." "This isn't over, Dale. Not by a long shot." April 1st arrived. Richard called with an update. Leo had hired Daniel Reeves, a very competent attorney, who was challenging everything procedurally. This could drag on for months. By afternoon, worse news. Marcus reported. "Leo's been visiting Mary. She's listening to him." I drove to Mary's apartment immediately. "Dad, you're destroying Leo out of spite, not protection." The accusation hit like a physical blow. "Mary, he's manipulating you again. Can't you see what he's doing?" "What I see is you using your power to hurt someone I care about." "What did he explain exactly?" "That those women were bitter, that you paid them to lie about him, that you're so obsessed with controlling me that you'll destroy anyone who threatens that control." Leo's psychological manipulation was masterful. He'd taken every truth about his crimes and inverted it into evidence of my persecution. My protection had become control. That evening, Richard called with the final blow. Reeves filed a motion claiming selective prosecution, arguing I was orchestrating a personal vendetta. "Your involvement makes that argument stronger." My phone buzzed, a text from Mary. "Dad, I need some space to figure things out. Please don't contact me for a while." I realized I'd won the first battle through superior resources, but Leo had won the war by understanding that Mary was the only prize that mattered. For days of silence taught me a crucial lesson. Sometimes retreat is the only path to victory. I met Jennifer Walsh at a downtown coffee shop. I've been waiting 3 years for someone to ask about Leo Morrison. I want him stopped. Jennifer detailed his playbook. He researches targets, establishes stage 1, rescue, moves to stage 2, joint account, and culminates in stage 3, urgent investment. How long before he typically runs? 18 months maximum, but if pressured, he can accelerate. How long has he been with your daughter? 8 months. Then you have days, not weeks. Jennifer said he leaves suddenly, taking everything. Jennifer made a call. "Amanda, it's Jennifer Walsh. I'm with another father whose daughter is involved with Leo Morrison." Amanda agreed to testify. By evening, I had a pattern case. Multiple victims, identical methods, willing witnesses. Marcus called. "Dale, we have a problem. Leo's been making unusual financial moves, large cash withdrawals, travel bookings. It looks like he's preparing to run." If Leo was following his pattern, Mary had less than 48 hours. Monday morning arrived. I watched from my window as Detective Marcus Porter led two uniformed officers toward Mary's apartment. In my hand, I held the warrant based on Jennifer's testimony. Jennifer Walsh stepped out of her rental car, ready to face Leo. My key still worked. Mary's shocked face turned to horror as she saw the police. "Dad, what's happening? Leo said you were trying to destroy us." "Mary, I need you to listen to Jennifer." Leo emerged from the bedroom, a packed suitcase barely visible behind him. His confident mask slipped. "This is harassment," he said, but his voice carried the tremor of a man whose world was collapsing. "You can't just break into our home with police." "Leo Morrison," Detective Porter announced, "you're under arrest for fraud in the first degree, theft, and conspiracy to commit financial crimes." As the handcuffs clicked into place, Leo made one final attempt at manipulation. "Mary, you have to believe me. I love you more than anything. Don't let them turn you against me." Jennifer stepped forward, holding the file of evidence. "Mary, Leo did the same things to me he's done to you. Identical words, identical promises." "That's impossible," Mary whispered, her voice wavering. "Leo loves me. We're married." "He married me too." Jennifer's voice was steady, professional. "Then he disappeared with $250,000 of my money." I watched Mary's face as Jennifer spread the evidence across the kitchen table. Bank statements showing Leo's debts, marriage certificates proving his bigamy, and recorded conversations where Leo used the exact same romantic phrases with 3 different women. "Leo, is it true?" Mary's voice broke. "Were you planning to leave with my money?" Leo's facade finally crumbled completely. "Mary, they're all lying. Your father paid them to destroy us." But Mary was reading Jennifer's bank statements, seeing the pattern of gradual financial exploitation planned for her. "That's what you told Jennifer," Mary said quietly. "Word for word, I heard the recording." As the officers led Leo away, he made one last desperate appeal. "Mary, don't let him control you. This is exactly what he wanted." But Mary was already stepping toward me, away from a man who'd spent 8 months systematically destroying her ability to trust her own judgment. "Dad," she whispered, the tears finally coming. "I'm so sorry. I should have listened to you." "You have nothing to apologize for," I said, opening my arms as she collapsed against me. "You were being manipulated by an expert. How can you forgive me after everything I said to you?" "Because you're my daughter and I love you. That never changed, not even when you couldn't see it." Later, after the police had left and Jennifer had returned to her hotel, Mary and I sat in her kitchen, surrounded by the evidence of Leo's crimes. "I feel so stupid," she said. "Don't. Leo fooled successful, intelligent women repeatedly. His crime wasn't theft. It was making victims blame themselves for his expertise." "What happens now?" "Now you heal and Leo faces justice, and we rebuild what he tried to destroy." Mary looked at me with eyes that seemed clearer than they'd been in months. "Dad," she whispered, "thank you for never giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself." Outside, the San Diego afternoon sun streamed through windows that had been darkened by deception for too long. For the first time in 8 months, my daughter was truly home. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the right. Thank you for watching.